Welcome and welcome back, everybody, to the Okay Grognard Show. Today is Wednesday, January 15th, 2025, 10 a.m. Central, in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And we're back from the winter hiatus, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up for 2025 and more. Obviously, the and more includes what you're seeing on the screen there. Those lovely medallions that a few of us threw together for our friend Yolanda over at 330 Center Street, the birthplace of Dungeons and Dragons here in town in Lake Geneva. A place to visit when you come to town. I'm going to have links in the show notes for people. If you're coming to town, if you're thinking about coming to town, explore this opportunity. Check out 330 Center Street. They have a bed and breakfast next door that is also owned by Yolanda, and she gives deals on it. She gives deals on, I think you can comfortably seat 6, maybe squeeze in 8 into this thing. And off-season, once you get between Memorial Day and Labor Day, rates go up a little bit because that's how it is in a tourist town, in Lake Geneva especially. But there's plenty of opportunities to go and bring your family, bring your friends, everybody come, stay in the bed and breakfast. It'll also allow you to play a game at 330 Center Street, where Gary used to run his games there in the dining room of the place where they all lived when the game was first published in 1974, and earlier they lived there, but there you go. That's what the beauty is about. We're just coming out of the 50th anniversary year. And so when a tree was being cut down last year, and I was heading past and they were throwing stuff in the chipper, and I was like, hey, wait a minute. I grabbed one of them logs off the sidewalk and gave a nod to the people doing the chipping and said thanks, and they just gave me a wave like it was okay, so I took it. I brought it to Dave O'Brien, the irascible Dave O'Brien, who sliced it up and sanded it and dried it out. Then we passed it along to Wendy, the wonderful Wendy, who does engraving and wood engraving and all of that other stuff. And I asked her to use a design that I created. I actually was looking around for designs, and I finally settled on one of my own making because it was just simple. It had that medallion feel to it. It was like two sides of a coin. I'll show them a little more closely here in just a little bit. Maybe I can do it now. Can I do it now? I can do it now. Let's see. Yeah, there's one side of it. Birthplace of D&D, 330 Center Street, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And there's the other side of it. 74 to 2024, 50th anniversary. Just a nice little unauthorized user. How you doing there in the chat? Thank you for joining me today. So we made 32 of these wonderful things, and it turned out quite nice, I think. And we took them, and Wendy kept a couple for herself, and Dave kept a couple for himself for having thrown in and done the work on this thing. And I took a couple and put them in a shadow box and gave them to Jason at the game store to display at the store, a sort of a memento, local souvenir sort of thing for his birthday on the 9th. And yeah, he turned 52. Old man, huh? Still hasn't caught up to me, and he won't. So hopefully he'll enjoy having those at the game store for many, many years to come. It's been 14 years. They had their 14th anniversary. The other 28 we gave to Yolanda, or rather 26. 26. Yeah, 2, 4, 6 minus 26. We gave to Yolanda to do with as she pleases. I have a feeling she'll be awarding them to people that have helped out at 330 Center Street, help put it on the map, help keep it afloat, help make sure that people know about it and all of that. So hopefully those will go a long way toward helping keep the place up and running. Don't forget, she bought that place. She didn't even know that it was the birthplace of D&D, or that Gary and his family lived there, or maybe she'd kind of heard of Dungeons and Dragons in passing, but didn't really know a lot about it. But as soon as she found out about all that stuff, any other ideas about what to do with the place went out the window. It became the shrine. Because you have to remember, you get a chunk of land in Lake Geneva a few blocks off the lake. If you can't afford it, you upgrade that place, right? I mean, that's an old building that could have easily been torn down and then built over with some, four condo building on a corner, and just be another example of a tourist town taking full advantage of the people that come through and ignoring its history and its roots and stuff. And she thought, no, this is special. This is a special place that needs special attention. And she made sure that in getting the place next door, that it wasn't going to be, a money pit. So she's got the bed and breakfast next door, helping keep the whole thing going. But, she does reasonable rates for gamers to come and stay and play in the space. If you're local or can drive in on the day, you can just pay a fee to spend 6-8 hours, something like that. Look at her website, and play 6 to 8 people coming in and playing a game at the for the history of it all. And it's certainly a fair deal and a fantastic deal, and it's just lovely that hasn't just been torn down and disappeared, and it's still there, especially through the 50th anniversary. So we wanted to do something nice for her, give her an opportunity to then pass that love and happiness on to other people. And so that's what we did. And I think it turned out pretty nice. What else are we doing with the channel for what we're coming up on? Look at that, we're already pushing the time. Do want to say that we're going to do a lot more Dungeons and Dragons First Edition rules-oriented material. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll be relating it to my own 50 years of gaming and my own running of First Edition since it first came out in the earliest days. And, of course, the original plus advanced, since I started with the original rules and we incorporated First Edition as the books were released over 3 years. It kind of became a mashup of the two. Fair enough to say that it's more First Edition than original now, but the sensibilities of playing original D&D carried over into First Edition for those of us who did that route. And I think that shows when you play the game with folks who came at it that way, rather than people that picked it up retroactively or only started with First Edition, might play the game a little bit differently, especially if you were a wargamer in the early days too. So there'll be more of that content, and look also for some Player's Handbook insights. And somebody had asked to do more monster stuff, and I was thinking, geez, I know guys that do some monster stuff. The Wonderful stuff that Mr. Miller is doing over on page 121 is fantastic. Check that out. And I thought, well, maybe I can do some sort of do a random thing and then riff on how to use something in an encounter. So maybe that's an approach that isn't used that often that I can do. So stick a pin in that. We'll talk about that later. What else are we doing? There's a cool little challenge for those of you. CSP Chris has some new textures out for a January challenge. So be sure to go on Crooked Staff Publishing and see what he's got there for the January challenge, and make sure that you get involved in this. Just get some stuff printed out and make some papercraft stuff and have some fun with that. What else is coming up? Oh, yeah. We want to do some more Appendix N retrospectives, looking at stuff that was in the original Dungeon Master's Guide, first edition Dungeon Master's Guide, Appendix N, as influences of Dungeons and Dragons, as in Gary's fine words. So we'll look at more of that stuff in the future too. Of course, we'll do convention coverage from my own perspective of Gary Con and EGG Con and Dragon Days Festival in the early fall. There will be more highlights of local events like those, but also stuff going on at 330 Center Street, stuff happening at the Geneva Lake Museum, stuff happening at the Lake Geneva Public Library as that happens, where they have the Appendix N bookshelf that you can go and check out. And we'll talk about, maybe we should do a tour of all the little places outlined that you can check out on an easy little walking downtown tour. Something like that. Okay. We've talked enough about 2025. Those are the things we intend to do. Let's just take it out now. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, whether it is in the chat or picking this up and watching it retrospectively through YouTube, because that's what we do. The show streams live each Wednesday on Twitch at 10 a.m. Central, and it's archived on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, all of that fun stuff, and it would be very much appreciated. Don't forget to help me make more videos like this by becoming one of my supporters over on Patreon. There's a free level. Appreciate more, but if you want to just join on the free level, it'd be very much appreciated. Join such luminaries as Tom Tullis of Fat Dragon Games, Carlos Lysing of Castle Entertainment, Heath Varnon of the NPD and D20, the aforementioned Dave O'Brien, Heidi and Eric Gygax Garland of Gaxland, Vince Ragusa, aka the Vincent's Health, in the chat today, unauthorized user, and as always, Shane Bradley, DM Extraordinaire. This has been the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Bye-bye.